The Saudi-Russia oil deal was verbal intervention at most, as opposed to plans to cut supply. Dmitry Dolgin, Alfa Bank. So Dmitry, a slew of data from Russia due out today. What are your expectations, and is there any hope of support for the ruble?
Regarding the set of data, I guess the key focus will be on the consumption trend. We're looking at retail sales figures and unemployment. Basically, both those indicators went under significant pressure last year because of the ruble depreciation and a decline in the oil prices. And by December, retail sales were down 15% year-on-year, and unemployment went up to 5.8%. And given that in the end of last year we saw another round of pressure on oil prices and ruble, the January figures will help to assess the scale of the negative reaction in the consumer sector. We in the market expect a decline in retail sales of around 10% and further increase in unemployment. However, regarding the ruble volatility, I think it will be dependent more on the oil price volatility rather than the local macro data at the moment.
If we talk about oil, reactions were mixed after the Saudi-Russia talks regarding oil. Some said that Tuesday's deal, hailed as the last great hope for oil, was a huge disappointment. Do you agree, and where do you see the price of oil moving forward?
If we're looking at the fundamentals of the commodities and in particular oil prices, I'd say that the key issue for the long term is the demand rather than supply. The key concerns are the slowing growth in China, which puts pressure on the expectations of demand for oil until at least the end of 2017, and this is the major factor putting pressure on oil prices. But at the same time, the talks we're discussing right now and further talks with Iran is definitely a factor that prevents oil prices from going below 30 at the moment. Even though some would say, and I would agree, that these talks represent more of a verbal intervention rather than the increased likelihood of an actual cut in oil production.
Now, as the country looks to the 2018 election, there have been talks of grumbling Russians and that the economic worries are threatening Putin's power. In 2000, the economy had recovered from the crisis of 1998 and had embarked on a 10-year period of 7% average growth. Analysts say this time it's different, but what is your take?
Here, it's important to take into account that now we're talking about potential exit from a new crisis, and here it's very important to assess the financial abilities of the government to support this exit. If we're comparing this crisis, for example, with the 2008 situation when the exit was rather fast, it was financed mainly by the state. There was a 6% of GDP worth of fiscal stimulus to the economy, mainly represented by the spending of the reserve fund, which was quite substantial at the moment. This time, the financial savings of the government is much more modest, and no one is expecting the government, the budget, to take an active role in financing recovery. So this is the main obstacle to the fast recovery at the moment. On the positive side, I would say that the macro stability of Russia has improved since the last crisis, mainly mainly because of the change in the forex on the exchange rate regime, thanks to the free float of ruble. The pressure on the banking sector and the overall financial stability of the country is lower. However, the consequences of this higher macro stability is the fact that now the population is taking a more active role in financing the costs of the crisis. So as a result, it would be reasonable to expect that even when Russia returns to growth, probably in a couple of years, the growth rate is likely to remain rather low, within 1 or 2% per annum at best.
Dmitry, thank you. Well, that's all from me for the moment, but also today we have Commodities Corner and Press Review, so please do keep clicking back. Goodbye for now.